Hey folks, my name is Randy Piku. I'm an NRA firearms instructor. Okay, we're going to talk about today the Ruger Mark IV Lite. I love this little 22. This is a very accurate pistol. It is a sister to the Ruger Mark IV standard type pistol. This is just a little more lightweight. And it is a great target pistol. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna disassemble it, we're gonna clean it, and we're gonna put it all back together and hope we do it correctly. So here we go. First thing you're gonna do, it's very, very difficult pistol to disassemble. So you gotta be careful with it. First you're gonna grip it right here. There's a little button right here you're gonna push in. And as you push it in, it's disassembled. That was kind of a joke. It's one of the easiest pistols to take apart that there is out there. Now the Mark III Ruger, the generation before this, was one of the most difficult pistols to take apart, but we're not talking about that one today. So once it's like that, you're going to take the bolt assembly out of the slide, and this recoil spring, I usually try to get a little tiny screwdriver or something and put a little pressure on it here. Get it out of the way. And that is usually as far as I go with cleaning disassembly on this thing. I think we're going to do our barrel first. That's usually how you go. All right, let's dry brush it first. That's what we're going to do. We're going to dry brush the bore, making sure that we hold the T-handle of the rod here so the brush can spiral in the barrel and follow the rifling. Pull it back. Always go in from the rear here. We'll do that about 3 times. Okay. Then we're going to take our brush, our nylon brush, whether you have a brush designed to clean a gun with or a toothbrush, that works fine. And we're going to dry brush this bolt assembly here. Well, this is getting rid of any loose debris that may be on the pistol before we wet it down with solvent. We're going to go up here in the lower and we're going to dry brush it also. Okay, now we're going to start cleaning it. We're going to use our solvent and put some solvent in the barrel first. So we're going to take our patch, dry patch, and put it on the holder. Okay, we're going to take a little of this Hoppy's number 9 solvent. We're going to put it on our patch. Saturate that patch pretty good. And now we're going to run it through the bore. We're going to do it a couple, 3 times. The purpose of this is to saturate that bore with that solvent, and we're going to let it sit a little while. I'm going to take some more of this solvent. Now we're going to wet brush what we just finished dry brushing. Put a little solvent on the brush. I probably said already, I love this little, this is my favorite .22 caliber pistol. And I hope you realize a .22 is one of the dirtiest rounds that you can fire in a gun. Wet brush all of that. Then we're going to take this and we're going to, well, I'm going to use the smaller end. And we're going to wet brush this. I don't really know what the terminology for this is. I guess you would call it the slide. You know, it's an encased type situation, the way Ruger does it. Inspect this again and look at it. Wet brushing it all. Okay, that's good enough. This hardly ever gets really dirty. Now we're going to take our cloth and we're going to do as much as we can with our cloth to dry this out. Yeah, it's getting it. These little picks come in handy. Yeah, it's getting that pretty good. Maybe want to take a Q-tip and detail it. Get everything of that solvent that you can get out of there, get it out. Yeah, it looks like it's doing a pretty good job. Not picking up a lot of residue here. Same way with this, you want to get all the solvent that you can out of here, out of this lower. Go into the cracks and crannies, the crevices where dirt can collect. And brush that out. You can see we're picking up a little bit. Okay, now we're going to turn our attention back to the barrel. We've had it sitting here with solvent inside of it, and what we're going to do is scrub it one more time with the brush and then move on from there. Take our patch holder, put another patch on it. And if you want to see, there is, now that we've rubbed the dry patch through it, you can see some of the residue. It's not bad at all. I think I'll run one more patch through it. This should come out pretty clean here. And it does. Look at that, pretty white. Definitely good enough. You can take your recoil spring and wipe it down with your rag if you want. It's not anything that it's totally necessary. Looks like we've got all that. Now we're going to lubricate this. This gun is going to take very, very little lubrication. Like most of you firearms, and I've said this a lot, I'd rather run them dry than over lubricated. Lubrication or oil picks up fouling, it picks up carbon and creates sludge, and that'll remain in your gun until you put some solvent on it and get it out. So we don't want a lot of oil on any gun. So I'm gonna put a drop or so of oil right here, anywhere metal slides against metal. I tell you what, I'm gonna have to use my pick because that Q-tip's not getting down in there good enough. Spreading that little single drop of oil all along here. We're going to put a drop on each side here. Use our pick again. Like I said, cleaning a handgun is not rocket science at all. You just gotta, it's one of those things, I guess you may call it a necessary evil. No one wants to do it, but it's definitely necessary if you want your gun to have a long life and function correctly. Okay, now we're going to take our patch holder, put another patch on it. We're going to lubricate the inside of the barrel. Tiny bit of lubrication on the patch itself. We're going to run it through the barrel. Just want a film of oil inside that bore to help reduce the chance of rust. That is probably enough oil. You may want to just take, you can actually use the same patch here because you don't want to put a lot of oil on anything. You want to maybe wipe a film of oil on the metal that's being exposed here. Really no need to oil any of this, but you can wipe a little bit there. Now in my book, that pistol is clean enough to function correctly, and so we're going to reassemble it. Take our recoil spring. This can be a little tricky on this Ruger, but this little screwdriver will help you out sometimes. There we go. And this just snaps right back in position. There it is. Now we're going to drop that bolt assembly back into, like I said, I guess they call this the slide. I don't know, it's made different than anything that I've seen, but it is, I'm sure Ruger has a special name for it, but you drop the bolt back in there. And we're going to reassemble it to the lower. You take this groove here, you see that in this little bar, line that up, snap it down. So we make sure our magazine is snapped all the way in, that the empty magazine holds the slide back, the bolt back. We'll release that bolt, pull the trigger, put it on fire, pull the trigger, and she should function properly. She's well cleaned and well oiled, which well oiled means barely oiled. And I hope this was informative to you. If you have a Ruger Mark IV 22 caliber pistol, you have a fine gun. This is one of my favorite guns to shoot.